right? Hopefully I pronounced that the right way. We have predictive history, game theory, rich dad, poor dad type game. Let's do it, man. I know y'all want that kind of game, right? Some of y'all want to be the rich dad. Some of y'all will unfortunately remain the poor dad. But both of these dads are valuable. Do your homework. You understand what I'm saying? It's not like the one was down bad, bummy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, deadbeat or whatever. Like, if I remember correctly, right? Rich dad, poor dad. I'm talking about the book. But yeah, we're here gathered together, folks, to dive into the game theory. They're about to, you know, give us some game on how this whole rich dad, poor dad thing works. Well, it's actually about financial literacy. You know what I'm saying? Let's kick it.
It's volumes of demise. I hear the sound buzzing. So when she said she wanna die, and he sees she ain't bluffing, so he held her to the skies. Cries, sour momentum, passive with goodbyes. I'd rather you tell him, but now the truth is I've digressed from all the feelings, so it's forever though.
Alright, I think where we left it off, bro, he was giving the example about the poor parenting skill. Oh yeah, poor parenting, how poor parents parent their children and how rich parents do it, right? Talking about rich parents have this negotiative nature to their kids. They're sort of like trying to understand their kids, trying to make their kids understand conversationally, you know what I'm saying, intellectually, just like instilling principles like, you know, resilience, self-control within their kids. While the poor, you know, they always the pressure is there, the pressure is always high, or, you know, from authority figures, you know what I'm saying. And so the pressure that they always have to, because they always have to like perform to keep their position, right? It's always tense. A single mistake might have you not experiencing the same kind of survival that you've been accustomed to, type stuff. You know what I mean? Your survival depends on you complying, right? There's no negotiation. Nobody's trying to hear that. You either deliver or, you know what I'm saying? You fall from grace. You don't measure up. You know? So he was breaking that down. Professor Jan. Still on game theory. Hold on. What the hell am I doing? You know what I'm saying? Still on game theory. Still chopping it up. And I think he was making an example. He was about to hop into an example of how he parents and shit like that, right? This is part 2, ladies and gentlemen. Rich dad, poor dad. Let's do it.
Okay? Does it make sense, guys?
Okay.
Because if you do it another way, okay? If you choose to be a friend to your child, if you choose to communicate, if you choose to keep your promises, then your friends and your family will think that you're doing something wrong. You understand?
That's actually weird.
They won't think, oh my God, you are an enlightened parent who's read a lot of parenting books and great for you. They're gonna think there's something wrong with you. Okay? So let me give you an example of this.
Let's go.
Let me give you an example of this. So my wife and I have 3 kids, okay? My parenting style. So my wife and I have 3 kids. And this is how we parent our kid, okay? First of all, we give our child a lot of freedom. So we don't have our kids do activities, okay? We don't have our kids do lots of activities.
Right.
We don't send our kids to math class. We don't send our kids to swimming class. We don't send our kids to piano class, okay? We just let our kids run around and play.
Right.
The other thing that we do is we communicate a lot with our child. Okay? Communication. We believe in democracy in our family.
Democracy.
If we're gonna make a decision together, we want everyone to communicate together. Okay?
Okay.
So a normal Chinese family will just have a very tight schedule, right? And the other thing that we do that's different is we tell stories.
Bonfire.
Chinese families will do math. Okay?
Yeah.
So we raise our children in a way that's very different from normal Chinese families, from the way that you've been raised. Okay? And we do this because both my wife and I, we spend a lot of time talking about parenting. I've read a lot of books about parenting.
Does that mean that's planned parenting? Planned parenting. Is that what planned parenting is? You plan this stuff, right? Wait, let me see. Let me see if I understand that.
Hey there, Sizway.
Hey, what is Planned Parenthood?
Planned Parenthood is a non-profit organization that provides reproductive health care and education in the United States and internationally. They offer services like birth control, abortion, STD testing, cancer screenings, and more. Founded in 1916 by Margaret Sanger, it has become the largest single provider of reproductive health services in the US.
Okay, whoa, okay, no. I think I was mad off. I was so offline. Okay, that's not plan, but like that sounds like you planning your parenthood, right? You're planning how you want to parent your children. That's how I take it. Okay, you can. Let's go.
Many decades researching the best education possible, and so that's why we raise our children in this way. And guess what?
What?
Because we do this, we have no friends in China.
Oh, yeah, because y'all are different. Y'all are an anomaly. Y'all do things so different. Y'all damn near alienated as a family.
But they all think we're crazy.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
But we do this because for us, what's most important is to make sure that our children are happy and healthy.
That's
and
it.
That they have a chance to be creative.
That's it, bro. Like, you know, I was having a conversation with my grandmother this one day, right? A couple years back. Wait, what's the scene? Give me the scene so I can see. Right? I was having this conversation with my grandmother. She, you know, we're having a religious conversation about religion. People who understand religion differently, and people who, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, the conversation got to a point where we spoke about even family members that get divided because of religious things. She was like, yo, bro, like the things that you get in this world, bro, they're the things that you get here. They're the things that you're gonna leave here. Okay, cool. The closest thing you have is your family, right? And so therefore, you do get to a point in your life where you do whatever you do, right? But what we establish here as a family, bro, is what should be stronger than whatever it is you're gonna find outside of these boundaries of this family. You know what I'm saying? Like, the principles, standards that we establish here are stronger. You can be the most religious person you want to be out there, and then, you know, you come here, okay, we see you're the religious one in the family and things like that. But then when it comes to practicing the things that we do here in this family, you're gonna have to, you know, put that religious garment off, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna have to. It's like you get to a point where you especially when you are a family oriented person, you know what I'm saying? Like, that ends up just dawning on you. I was like, yo, that's actually real. That's actually pretty real, because this was actually post the time I seen, you know, the ridiculousness that goes on in religion. Because it's not all ridiculousness, right? There are people that go there authentically and, you know, grow in positive ways. But then there's also this ridiculous side of, you know, religiosity. I don't know. But, you know, I heard, I was like, yo, just to avoid like the ridiculousness, you know what I'm saying? If you choose to be super Saiyan religion person, guy, girl, whatever, you do that. But when it comes to things of whatever it is that's important, aka the family, how we choose to parent, how we choose to raise what we got going on, right? How we choose to invest in the environment that we trying to grow for ourselves, our children, our lineage. This is stronger than all of that, right?
And be successful in life.
And be
because I think that if
successful
you do
in
it
life.
this way, the child will not be creative, will not be successful. But if you do it this way, your child will fit into China better.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
So parenting, the goal, the incentive is not for your child to succeed. The incentive is for your child to fit into
The
China.
mold. Sure,
Or
sure.
the larger social environment that you are
Sure,
in.
yeah, of course.
Okay? And that's why it's very hard to change the way people behave. And that's why social structures are extremely rigid, because the game they're playing is often just to fit into their environment. Okay, does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, any questions before I move on? Yep.
Thanks. So for poor families, is there any way for the poor kids to succeed, to be the rich parent you described?
Yeah, hey, this guy's hitting on a question that, you know what I'm saying, I had in my brain since part 1, when he was discussing the principles initially in part 1, right, of this rich dad, poor dad stuff. I was like, yo, what if you become that anomaly? That, yo, you come from that rich dad, right? Your parents, the people that brought you up, or, I mean, you come from the poor dad side. Your dad, your parents, the people that brought you up were poor, you know. But then you break through that generational curse, hello, and you yourself, you become a rich dad. Now, what kind of ingredients sort of work together to produce that kind of reality? You know what I'm saying? Being in a poor environment, right? Surely that's an unusual case, right? Extraordinary case. So what exactly is at play when that happens, right?
In the future? Yeah.
Okay, that's a really good question.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, for sure.
So we know that there are certain poor kids who do succeed.
That's right.
For example, I'm a poor kid who succeeded.
That's right.
We immigrated to Toronto, Canada when I was.
I'm a poor kid who succeeded, goddamn. You know what I'm saying? Speak that shit. You're a poor kid who succeeded. Speak it, bro. That's why we're here, and that's why you hitting that like button and subscribing, because you're the poor kid that succeeded.
like 6 years old, and my father was a dishwasher, so we were a very poor family.
Yep.
Okay, but I succeeded because I left Canada for the United States. So Canada is a very rigid place where poor people basically move up a bit, but not too far.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I'll go ahead and say, having the spirit, the mentality of going against the grain. First things first, right? Having the spirit of going against the grain, facing the odds. You know what I'm saying? At all costs. You know what I'm saying? These are the ingredients that make up that kid that came up from a poor environment become the rich parent or the rich dad. You feel what I'm saying? Being comfortable with discomfort, bro. It's like it's clearly the things that majority of the people run away from, or you know what I'm saying, look at and see the pressure and be like, nah, I'm not ready to handle this. I don't want to handle this for some reason. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's a big portion of people who are not the 1%. God damn it, that's why the 1% is the 1%. But yeah, I feel like there are motions of ideas where it's like, yo, the people who are the 1%, a lot of it's inheritance. A lot of it is the networking amongst them own selves. So the fact that they, prevent a whole lot of people from accessing that 1% capacity, right? They prevent people, so it's like it can't happen. But let's go according to the theory that all that material is with the 1%, because the rest of the people are just like, they just want to take shortcuts and things like that, right? Again, that's not a blanket statement, right? It's not a blanket statement, but like it does reveal something, it does reveal something about, you know, human nature and the nature of the psychology of the human to just like pick the convenient option, right? To self gratify immediately at that point. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that obviously keeps you at the bottom of the barrel. Let's be real. You know what I mean? So being able to be comfortable with discomfort, bro. Like setting standards that you've never seen set in your own family. You know what I'm saying? Doing what's different. That's what makes you stand out from being that poor you into a rich version of you, right?
But I was able to succeed because I was able to get a scholarship to go study in the United States.
There you go.
Okay, so there are opportunities. The problem, though, is that it means leaving your community.
Leave your comfort zone.
Okay, does that make sense? So one way to succeed is to abandon your community.
Abandon your
Okay? But
community.
that's high risk,
It is high risk.
right? So you have to be extremely individualistic to take such a risk. So that's why most people don't do it. Because you think about it,
And another thing, I feel like that alienates you. Like when it comes to, yeah, oh my God, it goes back to the whole being comfortable with uncomfortable situation, because you will get alienated from people like your family, your close relatives, and things like that, right? Because now they might just take it as if like you don't even mess with them no more. You don't love them. You don't like, you know what I'm saying? Like you want to stay, because look, bro, like moving away from your community so that you ensure your own success, right? And ensure even how you choose to survive, because the older you grow, you know, the more of an opportunity you have to do that, especially if, you know, you do things the right way and also are strategic and smart about your own life decisions, especially coming from that poor background that he's speaking on right now, right? It's like there are moments when you have to completely dislocate, so to speak, like just like disconnect, right? To a point where even the phone calls that come in regular, the phone calls, the black tax, you know, I don't know if people still call it black tax, the sending money back home, you know what I'm saying, making sure everybody's straight, being that person to, you know, look out for everybody, yo, hold this, hold that, you know what I'm saying? Those phone calls that regularly just like hit you up, you're gonna have to like lessen those, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? That might be really seriously uncomfortable for a whole lot of people to do that, you know what I'm saying? Especially doing that to your own family members, you know what I'm saying? It might take you having to make those tough kind of decisions, you know, and that may feel and be, you know, seem to make your life extremely alienating, or feel you know, you might feel alienated. But these are the things that I'm talking about, where it's like, yo, I'm not gonna lie, that shit, it feels crazy, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
the safest option for you is to stay within your community. That's what's going to guarantee you the best outcome.
Yeah.
But if you choose to abandon your community and just say, you know what, I'm gonna go somewhere else and try my luck, that's taking a really high risk. Okay. So to succeed, you have to take high risk. So another possibility is war.
War?
That traditionally, historically, has been the best mechanism of social mobility.
Yeah.
When you go fight a war and you do really well, you get promoted in life. Okay? But again, war is high risk because chances are you'll get killed.
Yeah.
Okay? So not just war, but also revolution. Right? Okay? And of course, the best way, of course, is to marry up.
Marry up? Okay. What's that about?
Okay? And that's why, remember in our very first class, we talked about the dating game, right?
Yeah.
Where woman
Oh, for the woman's side. Yeah, cool. I get it.
only want 5 and 4. Okay? The reason why is that 5 and 4 are high status, and 3, 2, 1 are low status.
Low status.
So if you're a woman, you don't want to marry into a low status family because your children will be screwed over. Okay? Your best option is to take a risk, gamble into
Marry
a
up.
high status and marry. You want to try to marry into a high status family. Okay? So traditionally, war and marrying up are the two major mechanisms of social mobility. In today's world, abandoning community can also lead to success. Okay, basically immigrating to a place that offers more social mobility, which often means the United States. Okay, but another way of saying this is you have to get really lucky, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's lots of poor people who think that, you know, I succeeded because I worked hard and I'm really talented. Look,
Luck has
I was
something to
born
do with it.
poor. I lucked into Yale. Okay, it's luck.
Yeah.
You can work as hard as you want, but the chances are against you. Okay? And it takes a certain personality, which is you're really individualistic, you're very ambitious, and you have high risk tolerance.
And isn't that luck thing the whole when hard work meets preparation? Is that it? When hard work meets opportunity. Oh no, when preparation meets opportunity. Yeah. When preparation meets opportunity. Right? Because the opportunity for you to just like have something change or have your life change needs to have you prepared to handle whatever it is that's about to change your life. Right?
Most people don't have that, okay? So yes, there are certain people who, despite their background, they're able to succeed.
Yeah.
But that's often the exception to the rule as opposed to the rule itself. Okay, so
And I feel like, you know, the door is often so slim, bro. In terms of grabbing that opportunity to change your life and change your background, change your lineage. The window of opportunity can be small or narrow because of just your, you know, your own limitations, your own background, your own mental barriers. You know what I'm saying? Instead of the possibility of looking at life like something you can negotiate with. Again, to the point that he was breaking down about, you know, rich parents, they teach their kids how to negotiate, you know, and reason with life, and not just like be afraid and always take every order without asking any questions, right?
so thank you. Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay, any more questions, guys, before I move on? Okay.
Can be luck counted as a kind of ability, or is just coincidence?
Okay, that's a really good question.
That's a good one.
Okay. Yep. So, you're absolutely right, okay? So, luck is a form of strategy. Okay? Strategy.
It's a strategy.
And all this
Oh
is
yeah. So I'm kind of projecting that he's gonna talk about that whole, you know, preparation meeting opportunity.
is that you are trying to position yourself in a place that allows you to get lucky.
Exactly. Come on, man. Because when we're talking positioning, we are talking about, you know, preparation, getting yourself at a certain point. But that even requires setting goals. So we can't say like being lucky does have a little bit of work put in, energy put in. It may not be a whole bunch of energy where it's like the hardest work, but you need to put energy in. Because, for example, it's like you wanting to you know, pass your exams, for example. You know what I'm saying? You put the work in and you study. You might just do it passively, just like reading your textbooks out of curiosity, instead of like out of, yo, I need to work so hard because I want to be the highest the one, the one to achieve the highest grade or whatever, or result, right? But maybe reading your own textbooks just out of curiosity, bro. Researching what you're into out of curiosity. That does, okay, if it is something that you're into, obviously that's easier. That's way easier said than done. I mean, said than done. What? That's easier to get to. That's easier to do, right? Just researching about whatever module you're dealing with in college or in school or whatever. Like, not on some pressure vibes, but just out of curiosity, right? Out of just like, I just want to grow my own brain. And then obviously that keeps you tapped into what you're gonna be examined on in the school exam too, or the test or whatever, and then you might just kill it. But you see, you didn't even have to like deal with the pressure of studying a week before that, or a month before, or a night before. God damn, some of y'all be like taking that kind of risk, studying the night before for some kind of test or important exam or some shit like that. You feel me? So the opportunity, the opportunity for you to just like kill it, or the opportunity for you to kill it, the exam, for you to just like show what you've prepared for, right? But you didn't, like, the preparation wasn't pressure, so it was positioning yourself to kill the exam. So positioning, that's what Professor Jang is oh my bad, my fault. That's why he's breaking down, right? Positioning has to do with that. And positioning, there's a certain energy that goes into you positioning yourself, so that whatever wave hits you and you can actually ride the wave and surf it. You know what I'm saying? So that can happen. Okay.
So I left Canada and I went to the United States because I knew that in Canada, doesn't matter how hard you work, no one cares. But in the United States, if you work really hard, then you might get lucky and you might meet someone who's like, wow, you're a really hard worker, I want to promote you. Okay? So you're right in that, yes, you can strategize and increase your luck, but it's still luck.
Still luck.
All right? And those who succeed are able to think strategically and far ahead.
Yeah.
And position themselves in a way that allows them to get lucky.
That's good.
Okay? And they often have the characteristics that we talked about, like self-control, resilience, and the ability to look inward and better understand what you're good at. Okay?
That's it.
So it takes a combination of factors. But the point I'm trying to make is that these people are only a minority, okay? 1% of the population, really.
Right.
Okay? And they still depend on luck. Any more questions before I move on?
No, we good.
Okay. So this leads us to a question, which is, okay, well, the way that I frame everything, you have poor and you have rich. And as discussed, they live in their own world, and they don't really connect with each other. They have different parenting strategies.
You know what? I feel like this one right here, this one will be a perfect segue for our next section. All right? So a quick word from our own sponsor. What the fuck I'm doing? What the hell I'm trying to do? All right? Quick word from the sponsors, man. It won't hurt, man. It's just a couple of seconds.
So it's forever though. When my mama's son missing, ain't no telling, do they love or did they kill him? The dominoes have fallen, we can't go back to be